Hey y'all, it's Anime K-Man. Today I'm going to be reviewing the first episode of Maggie's Grandson, and my goodness, this motherfucking anime has so many fucking cliches. Oh lord, of the Isekai cliche handbook. So let me just start out by tearing apart the story. You've already got your sad Isekai protagonist, gets run over by a vehicle, then he gets transported into an Isekai world. You know, with the amount of Isekai that have released in the world, you would think that the Isekai writers would have found different ways of having a character die. How about them showering and they slip on soap and they die that way? Or how about have an Isekai protagonist that kills himself overworking, so that maybe it could lead into themes about the show where main characters shouldn't have to overwork themselves too much. Like, come on, did they really have to kill a motherfucker through a fucking crash? God. So already red flags there, but at the same time, that wasn't a deal breaker. What became a deal breaker for me in this episode was when it introduced pretty much all these cast of characters that happened to be like the master in this craft. You have like this super powerful hero in the past that took on this demon lord, and and then this person that he used to know that was also super powerful when it came to magic. Then you have like this ex-military trainer that's super powerful. And that all these people teaching the Isekai protagonist things to make him super overpowered. And I'm like, oh yeah, how convenient. Just like almost every fucking Isekai protagonist. So just super plot convenience. Doesn't even have to fucking work super hard because everything is like on a silver platter for these Isekai protagonists. And then of course it mentions that he learns quicker than other people. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Just like in so many other fucking Isekai animes. Like SAO. And while Danmachi isn't an Isekai, it is fantasy, and then also have the whole cliche of characters growing fast. Oh, and it also reminds me too of the Rise and Shield Hero, although I did enjoy Rise and Shield Hero though. I'm like, oh boy, I wonder what other cliche this episode has. And then as it progresses, it has the oh god, it has the introduction of a female character that seems like she's about to be raped by these men, and of course the main character comes and saves the day. And then afterwards you have this other chick thanking the main character. And how do they introduce her? They don't introduce her by a full body shot to gain respect. They introduce her by her chest, as if the writers are saying, here you go, look at her boobs. Don't even think about things like her personality or any of that kind of shit, or characterization. So that wasn't the way they introduced a character, a female character. They introduced her not as a character, but as a fucking possible cum bucket for the protagonist. Might as well be that way. Fuck. And that type of introduction, that shit only works in either ecchis that go for the comedy or in hentai. This doesn't work for this kind of anime, because it's kind of hard to get respect for a character when the animators don't give the respect to this character. So that's what I thought the writing was bad. And then they even had the audacity to have the main character say how cliche when there was a situation where a girl's about to be raped by these rapists, and the main character saves her. It felt cliche. And then it's like, oh, just because the anime acknowledges it doesn't make it better. So that's why I thought the writing was bad. The characters, they were decent. I do like the grandpa though. He was a cool character actually. I liked his personality. He was sweet, adorable. And that's about it. The main protagonist, Shin, he kind of seems like a meek character. Doesn't have much of a personality. Even the only one that has a legitimate personality is the grandpa, and that's about it. And yeah. There's really not much to comment on it. Just the main character just happens to be good at everything. I mean, though I guess the only downside is that he doesn't have much people skills because he was never taught that. So that's why they sent him into academy. The academy. Usually in isekai animes, you'd be pumped up because there'd be adventure, action. But the anime is like, oh yeah, that possible height, fuck that. We're going to have a main protagonist going to school. Not only does it have cliche isekai bullshit, and don't get me wrong, I like an isekai when it's well done, Like, I really loved the first few seasons of Digimon. So I do love me some good isekai when it's handled right. But this is not isekai that is fucking handled right at all. It's like... Oh, oh Lord. So yeah. Characters, not much to say there. Animation and art, I mean, they get the job done. During the action sequences, they're kind of a bit above average, but for like the talking sequences, it's like average to kind of slightly below average with sometimes some dirt faces and long distance shots, but it's not a deterrent though. I'd say the animation, it gets the job done. But that's about it. Now, the soundtrack, hell, I don't even remember any tracks, so I think the soundtrack, it's unmemorable. And what am I going to rate this episode? A 4.5 out of 10. I thought it was slightly below average. Now, there really wasn't much for me to come back more. It didn't have the it factor like some of the recent isekais I have released. This doesn't have it. And now, will I watch future episodes? I mean, I might give it another shot because the grandpa looked pretty cool. But that's about it. I mean, shit. I mean, wow. But yeah, 4.5 out of 10. I'm undecided whether I'll react to more episodes of this series, but for now, it's not doing much for me. But, so anyways, guys and gals, these are my thoughts on the episode. Comment now your thoughts on how you felt about this first episode. Rate the video, subscribe, dislike the video if y'all want to, or like it. And I'll see you guys later if you subscribe for more. Alright. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.